Okay, we're going to continue with chapter 6, looking, evaluating the models and figuring out which one we're going to choose. So there's some terms here that might be a little bit, this chapter has some formulas and terms in it that might make you pull your hair out. So just take it easy, relax, don't worry about it. So we need to compare the forecasting models by using what we call the mean absolute deviation, or the MAD. The mean absolute deviation. The mean is a number that's used in statistics, and we'll talk about. So remember, whatever model you choose is only to help you. It doesn't make the decision. You, as the individual, still have to make the decision about what to put on the forecast. Unfortunately, economic conditions are going to constantly make you look at your forecasting and say, hey, things are changing. So changing market and economic conditions could actually make you evaluate it on a monthly basis if things are changing quite a bit. So we have to evaluate them using the MAD. We need to remember that it's not going to make our decision. We make the decision based upon the data given. Think of it as a science experiment. Okay, let's move to apply the chosen model. And this is where we're going to get into the different models. Well, no, we're going to get in the different models in a little bit. So I'm not really going to go over this too much because we haven't talked about what the models are, but we need to know, depends on what we want to know, what the market wants are, the production requirements, the finance requirements. So we actually need to know a few things when we look at the chosen models. And I want to talk more about that when we actually get to the different models. Okay, so we're going to move to monitor and control, which is the last step of the whole process. Then we're going to get to the models. So remember, this is called benchmarking. I'm going to put measuring benchmarks in place so I can measure the forecast. And I'm always going to measure the actual performance to the standard. The standard is the forecast or the budget. Okay? And then I'll measure that. When I measure that actual performance to the standard, that's called the variance. How far off am I? Positive or negative. And when I have a variance, I'm going to take corrective action. Okay? So this is what I call the benchmarking. This is probably, other than picking the correct one, this is one of the most important steps here. It's the benchmarking or the monitoring. Okay, we're moving to the different types of forecasting models. So we're going to go over a few of these. Judgmental models use qualitative. Qualitative looks at the quality of your forecast. A time series module uses quantitative. That means that I look at the quantity of what I'm doing. And causal models use what we call cause and effect. So let's take a look at these three models. First, we're going to look at judgmental. We call them qualitative, and there's a few different ones here. We're going to go over them. I've got a survey of a sales force. I would use this if, in fact, I was selling products. Okay, it's good for manufacturing and wholesale firms. So this depends on what you're actually doing as a business. You're going to choose based upon that. So survey of sales forces used for manufacturing and wholesale. So think about it. Survey means you're going to actually take a survey of something and you're going to gather data from it. Okay. I can use survey of customers regardless what I do. Okay. But be careful when you survey customers. You do want to use a survey of customers, but you're going to be asking your customers for their preferences, whether it's new or modified product. So be careful. You might get answers that you might not want to hear, or that you may have to change all of your business models for. So be careful how you use survey of customers. Okay. So basically, a judgmental module is based upon expert opinion. You're asking somebody their opinion. You're going to judge, and so you're asking them to judge what they think. Remember, that could be good, that could be bad, depending on what you're doing. The next we're going to look at is historical analogy. There you go. If I have several different outlets and I want to introduce new products, so I want to look at historically what different products have actually done. And then we have market research. This could be survey, test, or observations. This is almost like doing a research paper or any research. You do market research. You actually watch things, you observe things, you ask people their opinions, you give them tests, you try to figure out what's the forecast for the demand of the product. Okay, so I have a couple more judgmental models. Sorry about that. This is called the Delphi Method. I use a panel of experts to get a consensus of an opinion. This is for new products or when I don't have any other data. So these are my judgmental models. Remember, judgmental means that you're asking somebody an opinion and they're going to actually judge based upon what they know, what they think, what they like, which way is the best way to go. So this concludes the judgmental models. The next one we'll start on the next video will be time series models.